to iWowWe. This presentation is being done to share with you some information about a communications tools company that is bringing an amazing product to the world here very shortly. We're real excited and pleased to be able to talk about iWowWe because of the history that it's gone through. Mr. Starkey, our CEO, created a system where you could have a video email where you could send out 1,000 emails at a time, 10,000 per day. But what's even more exciting is that you can attach 5 20-minute videos. I know that this says 15, and we're going to get this slide changed eventually, but right there it says 15. It's 20 minutes. So we've got 5 20-minute videos that you can attach to one email. So we're going to make the first one, let's just say, personal. So you're going to say, "Hi, I met you the other day." And remember, 1 to 4% of any emails that are sent out are even read anymore. But when you add a template or a picture behind it and then add a video on top of it with maybe your picture on it to entice people to click, because when they see you, they go through something called facial recognition, and it makes them want to watch. And what we found is that 84% of the people will watch a video email, and that 90% of them will watch it to almost completion. So that's what the power of video email is. And so what it does is it allows you to promote yourself or your business. You can have multiple videos, like I said, 20 minutes on each one. You can also turn on an autoresponder feature, which you could pre-record something and then send out an email later, like say for a birthday, you could record it today and have it programmed to go out in 2 months, so that way you don't forget to say happy birthday. So the next thing that we have is a video conferencing tool. This conferencing tool is kind of what we're on right now. Not kind of, it is. Where I could bring up 8 of you onto screen and have you guys be seen in video format. And we can have up to 50 people. So again, this slide needs to be updated, but we can have up to 50 people. The good news is that it's constantly getting better, and we can barely keep up with our slides. It's so cool. But we can do whiteboards. We can do a poll where we can poll the audience, and we can do a PowerPoint, kind of like what I'm doing now. We can show pictures, and we can even play a video. It's a very powerful conferencing tool. And when you hear about the companies that are using our product, you'll understand why they're saving millions and millions of dollars in travel expenses. So we also have a video broadcaster, and that allows us to have 5 people on screen with 500 in the audience. And what that does is it allows places like churches or huge organizations to simply do trainings and to get a maximum exposure. It's not really for an interactive, although you can always chat in the chat box. But with the broadcaster, reaches a maximum amount of venues, and we're actually going to be increasing that here shortly as well. The autoresponder, which is a little bit different than the delayed email, you can create several emails up front and then create it to be attached to a specific folder where you add an email and put them in a grouping. You can have an unlimited number of tasks that allow you to just add their name and the grouping, and it'll automatically start sending them an email, 1 hour from the time they signed up for something that you might sell, and just thanking them, maybe 10 days later to remind them about something, and then maybe a month later, maybe a year later. You can actually program all that so it's creating less work for you. There's a little bit of effort in the beginning, but man, once you've got the system in place, it dramatically increases your profit as well, because time is money, right? Well, we have Johnson & Johnson, Wells Fargo, Waste Management, American Express, Ford, United Airlines, Procter & Gamble, and Mary Kay. All of these huge major corporations are utilizing our tools because they see where Mr. Starkey's vision is going. And when you see what I've seen, you won't be able to sleep at night either. The cool part is, like, for instance, American Express has saved over $17 million just last year alone using this product. And so one of the questions that I always ask is, why would companies with that kind of a reputation partner with a company if they didn't already check them out, right? And so that's what excited me, is when I started seeing these huge well-known names come into the arena to utilize the product that our CEO provides. And you know, the thing is that we are truly a suite of video services. We don't just do one or two maybe things. And as you can see, Cisco is a $93.4 billion company, and they do one of our things, the broadcaster type stuff right there, for $500 a month. And GoToMeeting uses the same thing as well, but they charge $2,000 a month to have 5 people on screen and 500 people in the audience. And so what we do is we provide the #1 service at the lowest price. So when people ask me, what about this company, what about that, from Skype to GoToMeeting, all of those companies are very unsecure, meaning the information is farmed and sent out to telemarketers who start calling you on the stuff that you were actually talking about, and that's kind of scary. We have a high security system, but why wouldn't these other major corporations that are using our product go with them if it was such a great deal? It's because it's not. It's not fair to those companies to compare us to them because they don't do video email or they don't do an autoresponder. There's several things that they don't do. So what is also really phenomenal about our company is that we are worldwide. We're in 110 countries now, and there's no tariffs or shipping costs. If you have internet, this will function for you. We do have the fastest growing product adoption rate on the planet. We have the highest payout if you join our affiliate program, but the product alone speaks for itself. And the fact that we can go all over the world, and again, I apologize for the dark background here. I'm going to go ahead and use a light marker so that I can kind of emphasize certain people here. But these people up here are on our board of directors. The first one is Rod Canyon. Rod Canyon invented compact computers, and he was very instrumental in assisting Mr. Starkey in getting this thing going. He was good friends with Bill Gates. Bill Gates slept on Rod Canyon's couch when he was broke, but because Rod Canyon is the fastest recorded billionaire on the planet, who invented compact computers, who put Mr. Gates' software on his computers, which in turn made him a billionaire as well, and he said, quote, "I owe Rod Canyon everything." Mr. Canyon also is on the board of directors for Youth for Christ. He laid the fiber optic cables underneath the ocean floors to bring the continents together. Just an amazing, amazing man who is obviously very wealthy, knows a little bit about what he's doing, and again, I have to think, I probably can guess that they already did a background check on the person that they threw their hat in the ring with. So I have real complete confidence in Mr. Starkey. Now we also have Mike Stewart. You may not be able to see that, but he invented Intel. As you guys know, Intel Celeron processor chips. He's a gazillionaire, a trillionaire, something like that. He's made a lot of money, and he's also on our board of directors. Then we've got Mr. Richard Bateman. He was on Bill Gates' team. He was the general, basically. He helped the internet communicate with the cell phone. And so he's on. And then we have Dick Conrad, who invented the motherboard, owned 60% of all HP stock, just purchased compact computers. So we have the 4 creators of the computer universe as we know it on our board. And all of them, not a single one of them, receive a single dime in compensation from the proceeds of our company. That alone is why we are able to pay out the highest payout in the world. Because not only that, but our CEO, Mr. Starkey, also does not take a paycheck from iWowWe. He's already well off. Mr. Starkey made good friends with Mr. Will Fietlin, and Will is the best of the best, the top of the top. He is in communications with Mr. Starkey every day, and he also has our best interest at heart. He brings our petitions and our concerns to Mr. Starkey, and they find resolutions, and I mean, really a problem-solving team. And so as a result, we really don't have problems. We just have an amazing product and an amazing company to work for. And of course, none of this would be possible without our IT board. Mr. Mike Nolan, he invented WebEx. If you've ever heard of GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, the cash for clunkers database that was built for the government back in the 80s. Mr. Nolan did that. Well, we recruited that talent, and he made our product 20 and 30 times better than all of the other communications platforms out there because he had unlimited resources with our gazillionaire board of directors. So we're really proud of that and excited that Mr. Nolan is also easily accessible through Will and myself. We have direct communications with him, and it's so cool to bounce ideas off of him. Then we have Jake Stevenson from Twitter, the Netflix guys, Wells Fargo encryption team. That's my favorite part because we actually recruited that encryption team, unfettered them, gave them unlimited resources, which allowed them to encrypt our technology with a living code that changes every so often, which allows us to be able to say that even the government can't hack into our system. And so the Department of Defense and President Obama showed up one day at our doorstep saying, "We're confused." And we said, "Well, that's not news." But they said, "Well, tell us what's wrong." "Well, we can't hack into your stuff. Why not?" And so the government now stores a lot of their stuff in our iCloud facility that's buried 3 stories deep in Texas, with 30-foot thick glass walls that could sustain a 20 megaton nuclear blast. It's got a Gatling gun at the top turrets. It's got a hand scan, a retinal scan. Oh my gosh, I got to see it, and when I saw what was in there, most technology companies can run off of a couple of servers to service the United States. We've got well over 100 servers in that one location, and we've got 17 of them worldwide in 110 countries that we service. We have plenty of power as far as technology power to bring in 1 million people a day if we needed to or had to. So then we've got the business architect to round it all off from Apple. He's the guy that took Steve Jobs' ideas out of his brain, put it on paper, and made it happen. So he's going to be bringing the Flash to Apple, all of this good stuff. So about a year ago, Mr. Starkey restructured what was once a forced matrix, and that's one of the ways he chose to, a few years back, to increase the news about the product, because we've been kind of flying under the radar, and now we're getting ready to go public in about 9 months, and we're giving away $25 million in shares through June. So now is like the best time to get started. So if you're new and you haven't had an opportunity to connect, get to the person that introduced you to this, because oh my word, this is the time. It's like that Microsoft moment all over again. So what happened is about a year ago, Mr. Starkey restructured the company and created a power leg, is what it's called, over on the left side of the company, and he put myself over on the right side, and with Mr. Fietland's and my help, we are building this thing like crazy, and we're so excited to have you on board. So what I suggest is that you get every one of your questions answered that would be required for you to be answered in order to get started, but don't wait too long, because tonight, specifically tonight, which may be why you were brought onto this, we have a special that's running through 10 o'clock Pacific time, where you can receive quite a few shares. Every time you sign somebody up, you get 50 shares gifted to you. Now tomorrow, if you get started tomorrow, it's not a loss, but when you sign up 2 people, they give you 50 shares tomorrow. So anyways, I'm sure they're going to come up with more specials through the end of June. So let's bring some more people on these scheduled events. I know that the next one will be Monday night at 7:30 with Mr. Clayton. It's going to be a little bit of a different presentation, but it'll be a lot of the same information. It'll also go a little bit into the pay structure.